Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to today's Esoteric Influences for Friday, June 26, 2020. Well, I'm recovering from being stung again by a wasp, another wasp. That happened 2 days in a row. Turns out, I thought the first time happened up at the grocery store when I got out of the car. So I just thought that there was something there that they were interested in, and I happened to drive up on it. No. So that it happened again yesterday. We were going to the store again, and we try not to do that very much. We were hoping to just do that on Saturday this week, but we had to go, and I started to get in the car again, and it happened again. Well, turns out they had taken up residence in my side mirror on the driver's side, right? So my husband got the spray out and they sprayed in there and killed him. But I mean, Lord, it's always happening when we're out and about or we're going somewhere. And so I'm running around frantically trying to find a large comfrey leaf because small ones won't do. The large ones, the stem on that extends from the comfrey leaf extends all the way to the base of the plant. And so it's not like a leaf that's attached to a regular branch or stem of a regular plant. It's part of it, okay? And so if you get the bigger leaves, and I mean bigger fan leaves, right? If you get them and you split the center stem all the way down, beginning up somewhere up in the leaf area, because you can get some gel up there too. You open it up and you scrape it out. There's some fibrous stuff, but there's this gel that's inside that's like aloe gel. And if you put that on a bee sting or a mosquito bite or something, it draws the poison out. If I don't do that, oh my goodness, I'm a beekeeper. And if I get stung, which I do from time to time, even with a honeybee, my whole arm just swells up and gets all red. It stays that way for like a month. If I put the comfrey gel on it, it goes away right away. It's really itchy right now. I think I've got maybe, and I've got one on my leg too, but it really got me. I've probably got 3 or 4 stings on my elbow. I thought I only had 2, but in looking at it last night, I think I've discovered more. Probably there was probably more than one. Well, there was more than one flying around me. So anyway, so that's what I'm contending with today. I'm not really allergic per se, but apparently I have a weird reaction now to them that I didn't used to have. And probably because of the illness I had. And so it's likely because things change, immune system wise. And so I don't need like an EpiPen, but I also don't think I have a normal reaction to a bee sting either. So I don't know. It was never before. I don't know why now, but the only thing I can think again is because of what I went through with the severe RA, before I went into remission with cannabis. So, and I don't know, I've just discovered, I've always known about the comfrey. I'm an herbalist. And so I just started doing it. And the other thing I do is I take plantain leaf, and that's another thing I did on it last night, is I take a plantain leaf, not the ribbed ones, but the broadleaf ones, and I pounded it and got the, because they're tough. And so you can pound on it, gently, and you can bring up the moisture in the leaf, and then you can take that side of it and then put it on something. And plantain will also draw out things, whether it's poisons or splinters or whatever, it'll draw things out as well. It has a drawing factor to it. So I did that as well. That's always fun to do. It's the simplest way to do it. You don't have to go running around going, oh my God, where's a comfrey leaf? You can just pick one out of the grass and, pound on it a little bit and stick it on there and you'll be fine. You can do the same with that. So anyway, just a little tip for if you get stung by mosquitoes or bees, that those are 2 herbal treatments you can do to offset it. As long as you're not someone that needs an EpiPen or something, if you're really super allergic to it, then, you have other things you need to do as well. So immediately and all. So anyway, we have, being the 26th, we have an 8 energy for today. So that's practical matters are in focus, and you may be asked to take a leadership role today. But understand the greater picture and choose harmony and protection over self-interest today. Again, virus is spiking, wear a mask. It's the simplest way to protect yourself and others. And realistically, it's not so much that you're protecting yourself from someone else, you're protecting the world from getting any of your own breath on them, your own droplets that could contain the virus. Asymptomatic means you have it and you don't know it. You're not showing any symptoms. You have no clue you're ill or that you're contagious, because you are. You don't become contagious when you get ill from it. You're contagious in the beginning as well. So no, you want to be really, really careful about that. And that's the reason to wear a mask. You're really not only protecting yourself, mostly you're protecting everyone else from you and what could be happening in you without you even knowing it. See, that's the thing. I don't think anybody would knowingly, well, I'm sure there are some sadistic people out there that would do it, but for the most part, someone who has it doesn't want to give it to anybody, unless there's something wrong with them up here, right? And in the heart, right? So I think that to think that we're that contagious, when we're asymptomatic is terrifying. Who knows who's spreading it? All of us could be doing it. We don't even know it, right? Wear a mask. It protects everyone else from you and what you could be doing to them without even knowing it. It's crazy, isn't it? But it's true. Othala is our rune for today, the last rune of the Elder Futhark, the 24th. On this day of Venus, though, it's a Friday, we're going to embrace a sense of family and cherish the relationships that sustain us. That's the thing about Othala. It's the earth element, it's sacred space, ancestral heritage, the Akashic record, protection, prosperity, balance, loyalty, tradition, security, peace, inheritance, and possessions. So when we think about that, particularly right now, both with the virus, the COVID virus, and the virus of racism that seems to be plaguing our police departments and some of the rest of us around the country, we need to understand that within the greater context of who we are together. And that's the cool thing about Othala. Let me see if I can find a piece of paper here. What have I done with them? Well, I don't know. Well, let's do it on a Post-it note. And I'll explode Othala for you. So you can see it's all Kenaz, basically. It's also Ingus, but when you explode Ingus, you're getting Kenaz again. So here's Othala. All right. So we've got not only Ingus with the top part of it, but we have Kenaz exploding inward, the light of spirit informing who we are. And then down below, we have Gebo. So I'll draw those two out so you can see. This is what makes up Othala. And then Gebo is just the same thing as Ingus, only the opposite way. So the light of spirit informing and extending out to everyone else, you see? And that's actually, when we come full circle, whether it's in the tarot or whether it's with runes, I don't know the other Futharks, and so I can't tell you how they function, but within the elder, I'm aware of them, I have them written down in my grimoire, but I don't have them memorized or anything because I don't work with them. I work with the Elder Futhark, and so from there, you really can see a beginning and end of the initial sending energy with Fehu into form, and then finishing out by understanding who we are. For most of us, we have to awaken to who we are as souls occupying a body. Some of us remember when we come in and we function that way. We're known as empaths, intuitives. We access that greater resonance of the collective. So we never really forget that that's what we are. It may take us a while to understand that language of it, but we experience it. It gets confusing until you know what it is, right? A little upsetting too, especially if you're an empath. You think all these crazy emotions are yours and they're not. They're somebody else's, right? So, but the bottom line is when you get to Othala, you're talking about understanding the greater collective aspect of self. And that's really fundamentally what we're exploring right now. Who are we to one another? How do we want to make our way together? The idea of the government, of the administration being in court right now trying to take Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, away completely during a pandemic, when it's the only thing keeping people, insurance companies, from denying people coverage for their pre-existing conditions. Because that's what happened before that. Might not have been the perfect answer, but it was a place to start and to build on. But oh no, we're just going to throw it out and leave people with nothing. And the virus is causing problems after the fact for people. When they recover, life isn't the same for a lot of people now. And so that's the stories we're hearing. Those are the reports that are coming out. You can call it fake news if you want to, but you're being short-sighted if you do so. And I'm just going to say it. I don't really care if I offend anybody either. Pay attention. See the truth of this and understand what's at stake. Wear a mask. It's that simple. Do that, and you express Athala in your life. The moon's in Virgo today, still, so routine is favored, but be aware of any oversensitivity that might arise either vis-a-vis other people or the foods you're eating. Virgos are sensitive. Their bodies are sensitive. They can be touchy. They can be uncomfortable in their own skin sometimes. Other than that, I mean, they're very focused, diligent, all of that. But at the same time, the food thing, you want to avoid rich foods or those that impact digestion maybe today, especially if you are a Virgo, if that's your natal sign. Just be aware that foods can impact not just the body, but spirit, mind, all of it. It affects all of the balance. And so be sure that you're, drinking lots of water and staying very hydrated and staying away from junk food. That seems to really affect the digestion of a Virgo and for people when the moon is in Virgo. So be aware of that today. From the human design section down at the bottom of the esoteric influences for today, concerns may arise today over the destructive behavior of others. Careful evaluation is required so that understanding is achieved. Act only as the truth is revealed, but contribute nothing to the deception or distraction brought on by others. Every single time, without fail, you can see this through history. When great change is about to happen, you get a lot of chaos because the people that don't want the change to happen find ways to thwart all of it. All right. They throw rocks in the way, they distract, they lie, they do whatever they have to do in order to stop this profound change that needs to happen. And I'm just going to say that that's where we are right now. And so what you see from others is done by design. The ones who don't want to wear a mask, they're listening to people that are manipulating them. All right? They're being manipulated by dark forces who want to stop us from resolving the issues that we have with racial justice and policing in this country, which is, you may think that that's just a little piece of things that you can remove and set on the shelf and look at it whenever you feel like it, but it moves through everything. You can't do that. You have to see this for the profound problem that it is. And it is so systemic in our society now that, oh, sure, you're going to have a lot of people that don't want any progress on this front. But I think more of us do than don't. And so they need to just step back now and let this occur. See it for what it is. This is what should have always been. And where we're going with this now represents Athala in our lives. The coming together, allowing the light of spirit to inform the entire thing, to understand that we have always been one, that we should have never seen other people as the other, and that they should have always been viewed as the other side of self. And had that been the case, none of this would be happening. The issues with healthcare wouldn't be, the issues with racial justice wouldn't be, because we would all be one family. We would know the truth of who we are to one another, and none of this would be happening. It would never be allowed for anyone to suffer at the hands of anyone else. That's the problem here. somewhere along the way, we've decided that it's okay to harm people. Well, it isn't. So now you know. Anyway, thanks for listening. It helps. Anyway, at least it helps me. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll talk again tomorrow. Be good to yourself, be good to one another. Oh, and I still have not done anything on Medium. I don't know. I may not this week at the rate I'm going. I just started the Esoteric Influences for next week, so that's going to take me a couple days to do. Usually, though, the things on Medium just sort of spill out of me, and so I'll just be in the middle of something else, and it's like, oh, I have to go write that, and I'll go write it, and it's usually for them, and out it goes, right? So look for it. If I write something, I'll say something tomorrow on the Esoteric Influences. Otherwise, it's just going to be the Esoteric Influences that go up over there this week. So anyhow, check for those on the blog. Watch for this on the blog if you want to. It's going to appear on the left side panel. And have a wonderful day again, and be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.